Hello and welcome to I'm Not Judging, but the podcast where we, three mums of school-aged kids, dive into the hilarious, chaotic and sometimes questionable world of modern parenting. I'm Bryony May Williams.
I'm Charlie Fuge.
And I'm Vix Wilshire.
We're not experts and we're definitely not perfect, but we are in the thick of it just like you.
From birthday party politics to screen time battles, we're here to say the things you're thinking.
With a healthy dose of humour, honesty and absolutely no judgment. Well, maybe just a little.
Coming up on I'm Not Judging But today.
I'm not judging because I have done it. And I'm not judging. I've definitely done it.
Sometimes I did find it, if I'm being honest, a bit boring reading to Nora when she was younger.
Yeah, and there's some books and you're like, please don't pick that one, please don't pick that.
Oh, she picked it. Oh, that's a lot, Jess, isn't it?
Oh, no,
wow.
no.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, God. No. Hello, we hope you're having a good week. We're having just a little teeny tiny break, so instead we thought it was time to share some of our unseen bits. That's all the extras we've recorded over the last few months that we didn't have enough time to share with you all. Lucky you, exclusive content. On today's show, we've got some parenting news stories where we tackle everything from parents not reading with their kids and are duvet days acceptable, to why do kids watch TV with the subtitles on and should they be allowed to wear makeup to school? Plus, we answer a few emails from our lovely listeners asking for our unqualified advice. We did our best to answer a question about sleepovers and help a parent who was struggling to get their kid off the sofa. Check us out doing our very best to help them later. But first, here's the news.
Okay, so I saw this from The Independent this week. So according to a new survey, 3/4 of parents have allowed their child to stay at home and take a duvet day if they feel tired, emotional or not able to attend. And 40% of those surveyed said they had allowed duvet days to happen more than once. So I'm not judging because I have done it. And I'm not judging. I've definitely done it. I think, particularly for me, I have one of my kids finds it really, really difficult kind of doing the whole 5-day week. And she really, really tries to get through it. And she's such a hard little worker, ready to learn. But it's just the environment that she's in doesn't, suit her, and she finds it really difficult. And there are times when it gets to a point where I'll notice that it's really affecting her, or she'll let me know it's really affecting her. And because I can't, ideally I'd love her to go to school 3 days a week and have 2 just being at home and learning, but we can't. And so I make sure that I'm looking after her well-being by giving her that mental health day or a wellbeing day. And I think, people probably don't do it as much as they should at work, but people do that, and people are encouraged to take their mental health seriously. And I think they should in schools, but, we could talk about the whole school system.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely, I do
let's
think...
break it down.
Yeah, let's break it down and build it back up again.
Yeah.
But I advocate for a duvet day. I think that, my mum was terrible. I'd only have to have a sniff and she'd be like, oh, do you want to stay at home, watch Knots Landing with me? And I'd be like, yeah, go on then. So I was for the longest time very much like, off you go, get into school. Because I was like, I'm not gonna be like that. But now I think you've got to have a balance. And I think if you can see your child is struggling, there is no reason to not do that for them if you're able to.
The difficulty
but then you've
is,
got that
though,
whole... Sorry, go on.
What do you do when you're a parent and you have to keep taking the time off work?
Yeah.
That is, because I'm all for it. And obviously you need to protect your children. And you know how I feel about the school system also with, it's set up in a way that isn't helpful to some children. And
yeah, you're so right.
That's great. But then at the same time, I've been on a Teams meeting before where I'm like doing something very important, very serious. And then my kid who was off sick is like, I'm going to be sick. And I'm like, it's a very stressful situation. And it's, and then you can't continue to take off all of your time for duvet days, mental health days for the kid, and then summer holidays, and then Christmas holidays, and then half term. And then I don't know how we do that all. I think that is a problem.
I have to mention, because I have a massive support system around me. My dad lives with us, and I have that, and I know that not everyone is going to have that. Or I've got some, or Matt could take a day off and he's able to, and not everyone has that. So I totally get it, and I feel bad now.
I don't feel bad.
Because I'm like, let him have a duvet day. Let him have a duvet day. But it's like, it's okay for me because I can do that. But I've got loads of support, and not
it's
everyone
different circumstances.
has that.
Absolutely,
no,
absolutely. And also,
they can come
because
round mine.
we'll drop them off. And also because you should be able to give them a duvet day. I'm all for it. It's just that the struggle is real. Do you know what I mean? When I'm like,
we're not supported as parents, I think, in society to give them and ourselves what we need.
Agree.
Strong agree. Yeah, I've given Nora a few duvet days in the past, but it was only if I had the day off as well, or I knew I could call up my mum and ask her if she'd mind having her. So it's I completely agree with everything that you guys have said. I think it's if we can, and we're able, you do it.
Yes.
I would say, because my mum was the same when I was growing up. If I said to her, Mum, I really don't feel well, she'd be like, okay, you don't have to go in then. There was never that kind of like, no, you have to go in.
Yeah.
And I sort of, feel that way with Nora. I do think sometimes I have to push her a little bit.
Yes.
Because
agreed.
Unless it's like a day like today when she's quite clearly her tonsils
are trying to escape.
When she can't swallow.
They're so large.
Yeah, when she literally can't swallow and she's got a temperature of 38.4. I don't tend to push her in then. That feels too much.
You're such a good mum.
It's all about balance. Okay, so recently I saw a news story about whether subtitles on TV programmes could help children as young as 5 or 6 with reading. Turns out they don't. According to a study conducted by the University of London at the end of last year, the so-called magic button of turning on subtitles did nothing for children, and most of them ignored them anyway. But it brought up something I've noticed. Why did Gen Z and Gen Alpha turn subtitles on when they're watching TV programmes? So I'm not judging, but is this another thing to blame social media for? I think so.
Is that because of the subtitles that are always like the captions? Do you think they're just getting used to seeing that on social media? And then they're like, oh, my TV must have the subtitles.
In the article in The Guardian, it said about double screening.
Yes.
So where the youths are watching a programme with the subtitles and they're on their phone or they're multitasking and doing something else. Yeah. I mean, I do it when I'm cooking in the kitchen. If I'm like doing a bunch of things, if I'm missing something, having the subtitles on means I'll catch what they're saying. So I do that sometimes when I'm cooking in the kitchen and I'm watching a programme. But double screening, I don't do that.
So they actually now writers write programmes for that very reason, for they'll dumb down the vocabulary used and the scenes to make it easier for somebody to be on their phone and watch
and
it.
And they repeat the plot as well, don't they? Like they repeat what's going on so that people who've missed something can catch up.
Catch up. I'm just like, isn't it just taking away all of the creativity? And I don't know. I'm just sounding very
but
old
surely
now.
it is though, because they're saying they're literally dumbing it down because people haven't
really
got the attention span.
What a shame.
Yeah. I really have to, if I'm ever doing it, I try not to do it a lot, but if I'm ever doing it and I think, oh my gosh, I'm not paying attention to either of these things in particular. And Laura tells me off for doing it as well. She's like, Mum, why are you on your phone and have the TV on? I'm like, well, it's a fair point.
Yeah.
But she has subtitles on everything. and I find it really distracting.
Yeah.
But she literally just won't watch anything without subtitles. She's like, I just prefer it. I just like having them.
That's mad, isn't it? I'd find it so distracting because I'd just be like
and not seeing the actors or the actresses. Yeah.
And then to get the punchline of a comedy before it's actually been said, I just don't know about it.
But then I do mute social media because if I'm like doing a doom scroll and the kids are sleeping or something like that, and you're just like, you know, it's not on loud.
Yeah.
So then having subtitles like on social media is useful, but not watching a programme, I don't think, for me.
Yeah. But it is interesting, though. It's another example of, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here a minute.
Do it.
Here I go. Of accessibility for people living with disabilities. So obviously, originally, subtitles were provided for people hard of hearing. Now, most videos online will have captions, again, because people scroll whilst they're watching on silent. And it's just another way of showing how accessibility helps everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating. And people are like, oh, accessibility. Blah, blah. It's like, well, actually, you're using it on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just, I just think it's fascinating from that side of things. Well, another story that popped up is about a school in Somerset that has banned makeup. Now, this takes me back to school.
Yeah.
Parents are criticising a school's makeup ban as ridiculous after pupils at a school were reprimanding and separated from classmates for wearing mascara, false eyelashes and false nails. The school says it is enforcing an existing rule intended to reduce appearance-based pressures and help pupils focus on learning rather than looks. Some parents argue the ban is too strict, saying light makeup can help some children feel more confident and that bullying over appearance issues need to be addressed instead. The school has said it will gather feedback from parents and students and consider responses before deciding how to proceed. How do you girls feel about this? Because obviously you've got girls who are kind of at that age where they want to start probably wearing makeup and, you know, to school as well. Like, what are the rules that your girls have got at their schools, if you're comfortable sharing? Start with you, Charles.
So I think light makeup is fine. I think, you know, having a bit of mascara is fine. I think the false eyelashes and false nails is a bit more tricky, just personally, because how are they even funding that? Firstly, but I think just having light makeup, I don't know who that's really harming. And what you said a minute ago, Bri, when you said about the school addressing the bullying, whether there's makeup or not, that being bullied about your appearance is, if that's happening within the school, the bullying about the appearance needs to be addressed, not the makeup issue. I believe.
I 100% agree. I think they're concentrating on the wrong thing, really, aren't they? And kind of shining a big light on makeup being such a massive issue when there's so much else that they need to think about and look at and change and support, you know?
Yeah, it is tricky. And I think really it should be kind of up to the parents a lot of the time to decide what their child can or can't wear into school in terms of makeup and nails and things like that. I appreciate, you know, within the school they've got their uniform, you know, they have to abide by the rules. But at the same time, I agree with you, Charles. I think that kind of sort of, you know, a light bit of makeup, a little bit of mascara, like makeup you can't really see, you know, is that hurting anyone?
No.
Exactly.
I don't think so. I asked Daisy because I was, after knowing that we were going to speak about it, and I thought, you know, there's parts of me that goes, oh, you know, they're so beautiful. They don't need it and all of that. And, but I thought, why do they wear it? So I asked her and she said, and I said, look, there's no wrong answer, but why do you wear makeup? And she wears very lovely light makeup. And she was like, well, I just see it as an accessory. She says it's something like a ring or a necklace I'd wear, and it just makes me feel nice. She said, I know I look great without makeup, but it just makes me feel a bit brighter and nicer. And there's such a tough place to be anyway. If a little bit of lipstick and mascara is going to make her feel better, then I'm not going to focus on it. There's other things going on that are far more important to be discussing.
I completely agree, yeah.
My memory from school, one of my key memories or core memories, is the mean girls always wore loads of makeup.
Yes.
Like they were like orange, and their collars were like covered in orange makeup.
Yeah.
That's like one of my core memories from school. So I don't know why, but like that's what makeup at school makes me think of.
Yeah.
But again, I don't feel like it's necessarily the school's job to stop that happening. I feel like, you know, it should be, if the parents decide that it's acceptable and it's okay, then, you know, it's tough though. It's very much an individual thing, isn't it?
It is tough.
It is tough. It is. It's an individual thing. Were you allowed? Did your mum and dad let you wear makeup at school?
I didn't really wear makeup at school.
Did you not? No.
Because my mum's always worn makeup. Yeah. Like every day.
Mine too.
And like, again, another core memory is I remember my mum warming up her mascara in her cup of tea in the morning.
Yes. Oh my God, my mum always used to do that. That's so funny. Yeah, because when it's really old and you put it in the hot water, it kind of loosens it up and you can get a little bit more out of it. Yeah. I know.
Give that a go.
I know, I was just thinking that.
Top tip.
If I did, it would have been quite light kind of makeup. It wasn't really, I don't know, I wasn't that into it really. I don't know. Did you wear makeup at school, Charles?
So I was just thinking, when did I start to wear makeup? And it was secondary school. And it was like a bit of mascara and it maybe to cover up a spot. But that's as far as it went, you know, nothing heavy, nothing too crazy. But I did dye my hair in year 9. How old are you then? 14?
Sun-in. I remember the sun-in.
Oh my God, the sun-in.
So, you know, but I think maybe primary school, I remember, it's really difficult because both of my kids are completely different. So one is really fair and one has dark eyelashes. So if she wears mascara, you can't really tell. And I would say she started playing around with that, like really tail end of year 6, start of year 7, wearing a bit of mascara. And it didn't look really obvious. Whereas my youngest, who's really fair, if you're going to put black mascara on, can be really obvious. So even though, you know, it's the same sort of thing, it is way more obvious on maybe fairer skin or something like that. So that can be really difficult to kind of, because even though I may have allowed it for my eldest, I don't know what I really want to follow that same path because it's so much more obvious on my youngest who's got fairer skin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think she'll just do what she wants to do though, won't she?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She ain't going to be told by nobody.
Well, this is it, right? So even if you say, no, I don't think you should wear that makeup, are they just going to be like, okay, yeah, no worries. In the mascara goes, in the jacket pocket, off we go to school, boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But also, I'm not being funny. They've banned makeup since we were at school.
Yeah,
and probably before that. They're going to keep trying to ban it anyway. The girls are just, or the boys, anyone who wants to wear makeup that badly will just wear it anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like just kind of, like you say, they're bigger fish to fry. Deal with the problem at the, what's the word I'm looking for?
The actual bullying.
The root of the problem, yeah.
The actual bullying and like talk to them more about
and not the contour
issues. Yeah, and not the contour and the, you know.
Snatch. She's a comedian. She's an actor and a writer. Fearless, funny. Please welcome the wonderful Felicity Ward.
Yay! It's nice to be here. Hello.
This week, we're talking about reading with your children. And the story that I saw was why aren't parents reading to their children anymore? The article is based on a recent survey by HarperCollins, which found only 41% of parents still read to their children under 5.
Oh, God.
And it discusses Gen Z being the first generation reared through technology, therefore leaning towards it as a crutch for their parenting. But they also listed reasons for not reading with their kids, from it being utterly tedious, with kids often requesting the same book or needing pages reread, to the parents simply not enjoying reading themselves. So I'm not judging, but this really upsets me, the thought of people not reading to their children. I just, I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's my favourite part of the day.
Is it?
I love reading with my kid and we've read to him since he was 4 months old. We've read a book, so that's always, he'd sit on my lap, he'd have a bottle and we'd read 2 or 3 books and then Then he needed more, so we would read 4 books a night until we started reading chapter books this year. And so he has a book that he has to read for school by himself, so to practice. So he reads that every night. And then he has a book from school that's a fun book to read that we both sort of read. And then we read a chapter as well or 2 chapters. So we do 25 minutes, half an hour of reading every single night. And
what are you reading to him?
At the moment, we're reading a series called Mr. Majika.
Oh, I don't know that one. Mr. Majika. He's got a magic bit of hair, hasn't he? Isn't that the one?
Yeah, he's magic. He's magic. Accidentally
Mr.
got
Majika.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a teacher. But my mother-in-law is an ex-primary school teacher, so she's just she really liked those books. But we started on the Roald Dahl books this year, so we've read
those.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting reading them through the eyes of your kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can make anything sad, but
It's a skill.
Thank you so much. I can make anything funny and anything sad. When I read Matilda, I was maybe 7 or 8, and I related a little bit too much with her, and I didn't know how angry I was as a kid and how unseen and unheard I felt. And then reading it with my boy and him just seeing that she had powers and how cool that was. Yeah. And that was it was very healing watching that he didn't have an experience where he felt like that. And then also I felt very sad for myself that I was I was smart, and that was sort of made fun of a bit that I was smart, but then my sister wasn't as smart and she sort of got made fun of because she wasn't as smart. It was a bit of a tough, there was a lot of bullying is our love language. That we always made fun of each other, and that was funny. And then you get to your mid-30s and you're like, oh no.
No, that's trauma.
That's trauma. That is. Guess who made a career out of it?
Do you, Vix, do you read to the girls, or did you read to the girls? I know obviously now they're a bit older.
Yeah, definitely. My favourite Roald Dahl was The Twits, or is The Twits. Yeah. I love it. There's a quote in it, isn't it? That's if your face smiles, something like sunbeams. What is that quote? I wrote it out when the kids were younger and stuck it on their door. I have to
beautiful.
I have to think of the quote in a minute. It will come to me. But it's just such a beautiful quote, and it makes me happy. And I love that book because it's a bit silly, isn't it, as well? Because it's a bit gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
So the kids love it. But it's
I read
beautiful.
That book in 2 hours. When I was a kid. I remember driving. We were going to the Blue Mountains with my grandma.
Oh, beautiful.
And grandpa, and I read it on the drive out.
Amazing.
And then by the time we got there, I'm like, I don't have a book to read anymore. This is shorter than we all anticipated.
Do you still read to Prim, Vix?
I do. I not all the time, because she doesn't always want it. So
how old is Prim?
She is 8. I had to think then. I was like, yeah, she's 8. And but we were just going through. It's funny because when this came up, I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. I've started reading to her again every night the last week or so. We went through all of her books and got all of her old books out and had a little sort out, and we found loads from her childhood. There's one called I Want My Hat Back.
Oh, I love that book.
Oh my God. I feel like I might have bought you that. I feel like I bought Nora that.
It's so ridiculous, and I love it.
It's about a bear who loses his hat, but this squirrel's stolen it, and he goes around going,
squirrels, man.
Where's my hat? My hat is gone. I want it back. And I do all the voices, and it turns out this squirrel's got it. And spoiler alert, guys, the bear eats the squirrel. But in the book, it's everyone's like, where's the squirrel? And he's like, I do not know. I love all of those kind of books reading to, even still now, and Did
you read the Rachel Bright books?
Rachel Bright?
Lion Inside, The Koala That Could, The Squirrels That Squabbled.
Yes.
No, I don't know.
I think I've done The Koala Who Could. Yes.
Yeah. So the Koala Who Could is just amazing. The Lion Inside is probably the biggest one. That's sort of her most successful one. She's sort of more recent, but I feel she's she's like a Julia Donaldson for me.
Yeah.
Like she does rhyming couplets and it's just beautiful animation. And Jim Field, they also do the Oi Cat, Oi Dog, Oi Platypus series.
Yes. They're great.
I think maybe they're newer, so maybe you missed them as having like younger kids.
Yeah.
Because we've got younger kids, Vix and I.
Yeah. Jojo's put on the quote, hasn't she?
Yeah, to the rescue.
If you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you will always look lovely.
Oh, that's nice.
And I stuck
Not always possible, all right?
on my door.
That's actually depression erasure. So that's toxic positivity. Okay?
The thought of not reading at all. Like, yeah, okay, sometimes I did find it, if I'm being honest, a bit boring reading to Nora when she was younger.
Yeah, and there's some books and you're like, please don't pick that one, please don't.
Oh, she picked it. But the joy for me is watching her progress from me reading to her then reading, and now, like, to me, and now her sitting there with a book reading and finding pleasure in that.
Yeah.
And the thought of her not doing that makes me really sad. But because obviously we're growing up in a world, or not we are, actually no, I am still growing up.
Yeah. I'm 15 in my head.
Yeah, in my head, yeah. Our kids are growing up in a world where screens are incredibly prevalent. Do we think that's having an impact?
I don't know scientifically if it is as valuable to read on screens. I feel like there are some studies that say that it doesn't soak in the same way. You don't absorb it the same way. Or there is no added benefit from reading it in a screen. And obviously looking at a screen for longer is more detrimental. I don't know. I'm not a purist by any measure, and I also know that reading is a privilege and that not everyone can read, and also reading aloud is really challenging for lots of people. And I grew up in a household where only my mum could confidently read out loud, and my dad wasn't a confident reader and he wasn't a confident writer even as an adult. They finished school pretty young. So I know that there's education and there's probably class stuff that is holding some people back. But I think for people that can read, I feel like it's for me, it's a non-negotiable. That's how I feel about reading. And I'm not a judgmental parent about much. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean, lock her up, but I get it. But with reading, if it's not something that you struggle with, for me, that's like you just got to eat shit on that one. I remember walking past my son's room once and my ex was reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar in a Russian accent. I'm like, do what you got to do. Like
to make it exciting for you. Yeah.
To make it get through it, fine. But yeah, reading is a non-negotiable for me. Because
they've got a lot of choice these days. Like when we were younger, we didn't have the million streaming services. We didn't have YouTube, the internet, all of these things that kids can look at or do instead of reading now.
Yeah.
So I
just mean for parents though.
Yeah.
You just got to read to your kids. If you can read, you got to read to your kids.
Yeah.
That's I feel like that's a baseline. If it's not something if it's only boredom holding you back, what do you tell your kids when they're bored? Okay.
Yeah. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah,
Being bored is good for you. Being bored is good for you.
Yeah.
She says who's addicted to a phone 27 hours a day.
I love it.
Now it's time for Between You and Me, where listeners share their parenting dilemmas and we chip in with our unqualified advice. First off, we have an email from Cole in Petersfield. It reads, "Hi ladies, I'd like some of your unqualified advice, please. I'm so glad the unqualified bit's catching on. I like to keep active, as does my wife. So the other day we individually tried to take our daughters out on a run. I took our 8-year-old and it was going to be a short, approximately 2-kilometre, like a junior park run. She was well up for it, but after about 100 metres, she said she'd had enough and wanted to go back. I obviously didn't want to give in and then had to spend the next 30 minutes almost dragging her around the route I'd planned. I tried playing music on my phone, running whilst holding her hand. It was such hard work. Do you have any tips for encouraging your kids to keep an active lifestyle because I know she'd always rather be sat in front of a screen instead. Okay, I'm just going to jump in here.
Go on.
And just say, don't force them to do what you enjoy.
Yes.
Find something that they enjoy and do that. It doesn't have to be what you do, because I tried to take Nora out running with me when I went running and she was not. She's not having any of it.
That's
not having
it,
any of
isn't it?
Yeah, and like Nora loves going to the gym. She finds she's like, I think she likes the machines. And like the other day, she was at the gym on this random like hand thing, watching the curling for the Winter Olympics.
Love that.
And I was like, she's moving. I'm
Absolutely.
So grown up.
Yeah, I think it's so important to find something that they enjoy and not try to force them into your thing. I don't know how you feel about that, girls.
I once took Megs out for a run, but so I don't know whether it's all kids, but kids, when you take them out for a run, they don't go for a jog. They're not trying to maintain their speed. They're like full pelt, sprinting, and then they can't last, right? Because they're not trying to do it. They're just running for the joy of running.
Yeah.
They're not running because of mental health or fitness, or all of the what adults might do.
Yeah.
They're running because they're just like, wow, and they're just going
Like
for
Phoebe
it.
Buffet.
Right, exactly. Love that.
That's how I run.
So they're going to burn out, right? They're not going to make it around the 2K because they've gone hard. So I've put here as when I read this is that team sport is always a good entry point. If the kid isn't great or feeling a bit like self-conscious or not great at doing an individual sport, a team sport is a great entry because you make friends and the pressure isn't solely on you, and team sport for the win every time. Yeah.
Doing what you said, Bri, like doing something they like. Like I did a K-pop idol workout with Daisy yesterday.
Oh my God, that sounds
So
amazing.
it's part of the K-pop idol training, like, and she's downloaded this thing. Oh my God, my hip today, man. It was hardcore, but I did it and she was so happy I did it with her. And she's really kind of getting into and starting to enjoy fitness as well. And with Prim, like yesterday I played on the Switch. There's this sword fighting thing. She's really good at it though. I never win, but it's like you say, finding something they enjoy. If you want to get them out and because I think like fresh air is really important as well as part of exercise, even if you're going on a good walk. But even that, sometimes they're like, oh, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
So I've got these little things, and you could make them yourself. But I bought some. They're called like Find It cards in a little bag, and you're like, find something wavy, find something that feels rough. So if you're going for a walk anyway, you can. It's like a little treasure hunt. So
Nice.
something like that as well.
Yes.
You can also, they're a bit more expensive, but you get one of these. If you get yourself a four-legged friend, then you have to get out every day.
Yeah.
But actually, he does get Nora out every day for a walk. Not him personally, but like he he's the reason that she goes out for a walk, and she really enjoys that time. Also, if you're struggling to get them away from the screen, maybe kind of baby step it. And one thing that Nora really loves is like yoga, kids yoga. There's a thing called cosmic yoga that's really, really good. It's kind of yoga designed for kids, and it's great, and it's free. It's on YouTube. You don't need anything, don't need any equipment. You can do it, in your front room. And that can be really good as well.
And he can do that as his cool down after he's done his run.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. And I think definitely showing interest, like you have, like you were saying, Vix, and cheering them on at the sports teams and getting them, and I think showing them that you support them in that and getting excited for them can go a really long way.
Absolutely.
So we really hope that helps, Cole. Let us know how you get on. And we've had an email from Jess in Colchester. It reads, "Hi, please can I get some of your unqualified advice?" I love that this is catching on. "As I listen to the pod regularly, and it's been quite useful before. My daughter started secondary school in September and has made friends with lots of kids I've never met before, and even got herself a boyfriend. It feels very different to how wholesome things were at primary school. She's now asking if he can come for a sleepover. I don't know what to do. Do I say yes and make them sleep in separate rooms? Do I need to start buying condoms? Condoms? I said that weird, didn't I? Condoms. I'm just like, surely not at 12 years old. The whole situation is freaking me out. All advice welcome. Thank you. That's a lot, Jess, isn't it?
Oh, no,
12.
no.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh God, no.
Oh God,
No.
I'm going to hand this over to the two ladies who have got 12 or older.
Yeah.
Charles, go.
So I would say in this situation that don't go straight out buying the condoms. Everything's going to be okay. But definitely have a chat with your 12-year-old. Have that chat, a really lovely chat. It's so difficult. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling with this so much because it's so difficult when they are starting to have a bit more independence and they don't need you in the same way anymore. So they don't want to tell you everything. They don't need you for everything anymore. So they're learning to use their wings to fly a little bit more. And it's really difficult. Darcy walks to school. So I'm not going at the school gates. I'm not talking to mums. I'm not talking to the friends that she's meeting. She's doing that of her own accord. And so, yeah, you won't see the teachers in the same way as well at secondary school. It's very hands off and it's a real transition. But you just have to keep that relationship with your 12-year-old and just say, I'm always going to be here for you. What I always try and say to my kids, which you say as well, Bri, we've had this conversation, and I'm sure you do as well, Vix, that no matter what happens, even if it's the worst thing in the world, just tell me. I'll help you out. So in this situation, if she thinks, oh, I can't tell mum, yeah, you can. Tell me I'll love you always and forever. With the sleepover, though.
Yes.
I remember having a sleepover when I was 12, right? And I had two
boys.
Boyfriend? But they weren't my boyfriend. They were just my mates.
Well, this is different.
And I don't know whether it's because I was friends with boys, right? So I've got an older brother and I had friends that were boys. So it was two boys from school and me and one other girl. And we literally just genuinely stayed up, watched Scream.
Yeah.
Ate popcorn, had a good laugh, and that was it. And honestly, that was it. There wasn't any dodgy stuff going on, and they weren't a boyfriend.
I'd be okay with that.
This is saying a boyfriend, though, isn't it?
It's a boyfriend.
I wouldn't do sleepover, Soz. I wouldn't.
No, it's a big no.
I wouldn't be doing a sleepover. The only time where I would do that is if I was worried that then she'd be saying, oh, I'm going over to stay at Stephanie's.
Oh my God, that's where my mind went.
I'm staying at Stephanie's house and really was going to Stephen's. Because
I understand her wanting him over for tea and stuff and hanging out with the family and whatever, but I don't know about sleepovers.
No,
I just think it's too soon.
I'm not judging, but why do you need to have a sleepover with a boyfriend at 12?
No, you don't.
Really? You don't, do you?
Definitely don't.
I can see why Jess I really feel for Jess. Mean, it's stressing me out and it's not my child. I'd be like, tag her immediately. I suppose I completely agree with what you're saying in that trying to keep an open conversation as possible and talk to them about everything. But if it was Nora and she was talking about having a boyfriend sleepover at 12, I would say no, that's it's too young. Why do you need a boyfriend sleepover? Go on a date to the cinema or, go to the mall shopping. What, you're 12. You shouldn't even be worrying about sleepovers at that age unless it's with your friends. It's kids are growing up too quickly these days. And I think that is a real symptom of that. So, I can see why it's freaking you out, Jess. That would freak me right out.
Definitely. And it is a really good point about laying that foundation and the way in which you handle this conversation now with her about if she said, I want him for a sleepover, she has got to be careful in the way she reacts, not like me going, no. She's got to be really okay, take a breath, Jess, and figure out something calm to say and offer another option, like coming round for tea and staying until 9 and then we'll take him home or whatever. Yeah. And just, because you do, like Charlotte said, you want to lay that foundation that you don't want to cut things off and just say no and be like the just because I said so, mum or dad, because it just pushes them away.
I think it's lovely,
and make their own
though,
decisions.
Because the daughter's asked.
Yes, and she obviously feels
How
safe.
lovely is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. So the fact that she's opened up that dialogue herself, that's so positive.
Absolutely.
You got this, Jess. Go on, girl.
You got this, Jess.
Go on,
Let
Jess.
us know how it goes. Come back to us.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, please, because then you can give us advice. For
please.
when our girls
This is a two-way street. Yeah.
It's open. It's open. Circle of trust. Circle of trust.
Come in.
Yeah, help us. If there's a parenting drama or dilemma you want our unqualified wisdom on, then send us a DM or voice note on Instagram. You'll find us at I'm Not Judging But Pod. And don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you again soon.